The last video I did about Cary was in June of 2020, and I covered a lot about our local parks, events and activities that happen in Cary. But since that time, only a year ago, so much has changed and happened in Cary. When Cary first began developing the downtown park, they made this adorable little place where you could play a few games, hang out and have some coffee by the fountain, and just relax in the hustle and bustle of town center. Since that time, the town of Cary has solicited resident input to develop what will arguably be one of the best parks in the Triangle. We have tons of parks in Cary, and they're great for spending time outdoors, hiking on the trails, but they really don't have the kind of amenities you often see in parks in larger cities. The new downtown Cary Park is going to rectify that problem. This park is going to be amazing. It's not done yet, but the town of Cary has this Sims-style video of the park so you can get an idea of what it's going to be like. It's not huge, it's about 7 acres, but the design and functionality of the park are amazing. First, we get a big overview of the whole thing, and then we'll swoop down into the individual parts of the park. There will be multiple water features throughout the park. This spray grounds is one of them. There are going to be 2 food and beverage facilities within the park, so I'm guessing you can buy dinner or snacks and hang out at the fire pit or whatever. There's also an amphitheater and a lawn for concerts, and the intention is to incorporate a large amount of planned activities like arts and crafts classes, fitness classes, book clubs, story time. Remember, this is right next to the beautiful new library, which we're going to talk about in just a minute. There are several skybridge type things, and that bird is in the children's natural play area. I love how they've incorporated a reflection pond. There's going to be a dog park, and a bar serving locally brewed beer will be incorporated into the dog park. They're calling it a bark bar so people can hang out with their best friend and have a beer. Somehow, beer, dogs, and poop stations all together has me a little freaked out, but I guess we'll see how it goes. Tell me what you guys think of this place in the comments. I can't wait for it to open, and I'll definitely get some updated video when that happens. The Cary Library is pretty amazing. We used to just have this little tiny 1-story library. It was very 70s and dated, and there really wasn't that much room for a lot of books, but being totally honest, I just loved it. It was so nostalgic and cozy, and of course I have memories of taking my little kids to story time there, and now they're all grown up. But I also do love the Cary Library. It's absolutely beautiful, and there are views throughout all the windows of downtown. The library is 23,000 square feet and holds 90,000 volumes. You know that one strip mall? You've got one in pretty much every city. It's that one that just never does well, and businesses can't seem to stay in business in that shopping center. You know what I'm talking about. Well, McGregor Village used to be that place, which is totally crazy because it's in a beautiful area right in the middle of Cary, across the street from one of the most popular golf communities in the area, McGregor Downs, and it has always had amazing shops and restaurants in it, but the big problem with this shopping center is it's set way back off the road, and you can hardly see it when you drive by. But it would be a big mistake to pass it by. I didn't even realize this place had been redesigned. I thought it was still a half-empty shopping center until this summer. I was looking for a place for my kids to do virtual reality. We found that, as well as a ton of other really cool shops and amenities, and we're going to go check it out. The one thing that could make McGregor next level would be if the town of Cary made it a little more accessible on foot by running a greenway by here. That's just my opinion. Okay, the next amazing space in Cary is Fenton. This has been in the works for, gosh, forever, but it's really coming together and is currently scheduled to open in spring of 2022, so we're really close. They've got a long list of businesses that have already signed on. Fenton is being built in East Cary, right across the street from what used to be the Cary Town Center Mall, which is also being redesigned, but we'll talk about that in just a minute. It's right on the border of Raleigh and sits about a half a mile from I-40, which makes it really convenient. Fenton is going to be a live, work, play community, and we'll have plenty of commercial office space. They're calling it a next-generation workspace with superior access to connectivity, thoughtful design, and intentional amenities integrated into a dynamic mixed-use environment like nothing else in the Triangle. People shouldn't use words like dynamic in their descriptions. It totally sounds like an oversell. What is a dynamic space anyway? I happen to think it'll be pretty cool despite the goofy web copy. There will be shopping and dining and entertainment. They already have a ton of really great options for vendors who have signed leases already. They will have luxury apartments within Fenton. Right now, I'm not aware of any new residential residential single-family homes being built in or around Fenton, but there are a handful of neighborhoods that are pretty close. Walnut Hills, Greenwood Forest, and Pirates Cove are a few. These are older neighborhoods with smaller homes, but very walkable. Speaking of housing, since my last video about Cary, there's been a ton of new housing built, particularly infill housing in the downtown corridor, and I have to say, I think it has added a level of really diverse architecture that we really needed in downtown Cary. Down in the comments section, there's a link to homes currently for sale in downtown Cary. Earlier, I mentioned the Cary Town Center Mall area across the street from Fenton. This location has been an area of hot debate for years, and several different plans for how to use the space have been overturned.
Ooh, no.
The reason it's so valuable and controversial is because the Cary Town Center Mall, like many malls in America, has been failing for years, but it sits on a 65-acre piece of property right in the middle of everything. It's halfway between Crossroads Shopping Center in Cary and downtown Cary, and both of these are close enough to walk to them. And of course, Fenton going in right across the street makes it even more valuable, but it's also less than 15 minutes from downtown Raleigh and the airport. You don't find pieces of property this big for development in the middle of one of the hottest real estate cities in the country very often, and somehow they couldn't manage to find an appropriate use for it. It went through several hands, and I think it took so long because people had such high hopes for this center of town location, so there was lots of debate. In 2019, it was purchased by a developer that was going to turn it into a sports and recreation center, and most everyone was excited about that.
To be a destination for people from all across the state and all across the country.
Today, they approved a $193 million sports complex. It would include a 150,000 square foot building, an arena that will seat 4,000 and 12 basketball courts.
But then out of nowhere, it was bought out by video game producer Epic Games for use as their national headquarters. I think a lot of people were disappointed because people imagined it would be developed for use by the town, not necessarily for a company. But it looks like Cary residents may just get what they were hoping for. Epic paid $95 million for the property. The previous developer paid $40 million just 2 years earlier. Talk about a return on investment. Anyway, Epic has promised that they're committed to working with the town of Cary to explore ways some of this property might be used by the community. How that will play out remains to be seen. Maybe we'll get a nice park bench. Who knows? That's for a future video. If you like this video, you might also like this one about why Forbes ranked Cary the best place to live in America.